Okay, so the scene starts off with Jack Frost thinking he's Captain America waking up out the ice, and bro ain't got a single drop of water on him. Stephen Curry went through the same thing during the USA Ice Bucket Challenge. Damn bro, they got us. Jack then lands and he's absolutely confused, having no idea why he's even here. He's basically a newborn, he just spawned in. Jack then picks up a random staff on the floor and discovers he has ice powers, and Buddy instantly gets geeked running around trying out his powers. And hey, I won't even blame him, I'll be doing the same thing. Imagine waking up and finding out you're the next Elsa. I'm instantly suiting up, jumping into the sea and becoming the local vigilante. Anyways, while testing out his powers, Jack ends up finding out that he can fly, but he drops back down into a tree, sees a local town and decides to fly over to get some answers. He lands and I'm surprised they ain't burn him up instantly. Back in them times, they would accuse guys of the craziest stuff. If Kyrie Irving were to travel back in time, he would hit the simplest crossover and they would get to calling bro a wizard. So Jack tries to ask this little kid where he's at, and bro just ends up running straight through him, and so does everyone else. And this is where Jack realizes that he's both invisible and can't be heard, the average male experience. So we then fast forward a couple hundred years to see Russian Santa mad as hell in his office. One of the Yetis tells him to come check out the globe, and he pulls up to see all the lights going out. A bunch of black sand then covers the globe and we see the boogeyman pull up. But this ain't even him for real, he just putting on a presentation for them. He ain't on no smoke. Type of guy who swears he sees red when he gets angry. I'm over here thinking I'm about to see the most beautiful fight just for him to get whipped in 1 second. Come on man. So after the show ends, Santa decides to call up all the Guardians using the Northern Lights. We got the Tooth Fairy, one of the goats, Sandman, and now I'm not talking about whatever that was on Netflix, I'm talking about the real goat and the Australian Easter Bunny. They all get together to have a meeting and Santa tells them Pitch Black the boogeyman pulled up on his block. They all start to question him and he says he feels in his belly that it was really Pitch. Buddy, we know you can feel it in your belly, you can feel about everything with that. They all start arguing and Sandman over here peeps that the moon is trying to tell them something, but because he can't make any noise, he has no way of getting their attention. So he grabs one of the elves and starts shaking him violently, had him looking like he's doing a fly reacts laugh. So he finally gets their attention and they all look over to the moon, and it tells them that Santa's right, Pitch Black is actually back, and tells them he's bringing in a new guardian to help them. It starts the process and Sandman's over here thinking it's about to be Kaiser Nat, but the moon picks Jack Frost. Had all the Tooth Fairies geeked, he's basically the Gojo of the verse. But Coyote Peterson's over here mad as hell, seeing that Jack Frost don't even care about the kids. He's always messing up his Easter egg hunts, he's a bum and he has no job. And we come over to Jack Frost and he's proving him exactly right. Bro's messing with the whole city and creating whole ass snow days. I know D1 athletes would love Jack Frost, all they do is play in the snow. Jack then pulls up on a group of kids planning their Easter egg hunt cause it's about to be Easter in 3 days. They decide to go out sledding and Jamie's mom tells him to put on a hat so Jack Frost doesn't nip at his nose. Jamie asks who that is and she's over here calling him a nobody. Damn. And Jack instantly took that personally, cause he grabs a snowball, blows on it turning it into straight ice and throws it at the back of Buddy's head. Yo, he genuinely might be trying to end bro, cause I don't think you guys understand how much that would hurt. That's like being hit in the back of the head with a stone. And the aim on this throw is insane. He must have taught the last generation of African parents, cause I could have sworn my mom hit me with the same move but with a slipper. Anyways, after being hit, the whole group of kids start to have a snowball fight with Jack supplying them with ammo. But during the snowball fight, one of the kids accidentally hits Cupcake, and I swear people have to stop naming their kids and dogs Cupcake, cause that name automatically makes them the biggest menace. It's like their default setting, just for a dog named Galaxy Destroyer to be the cutest dog you've ever seen in your whole life. So as Cupcake's over here mad as hell, Jack hits her with a snowball and it seems as though his powers allow everyone to see the fun and stuff, cause she starts laughing and ends up joining in on the fun. And as she's chasing them around, Jack decides to make the floor slippery. Jamie falls into his sled sliding down and ends up falling into the city, and they just start cutting up in between the cars and the people. Got me feeling like I'm cutting up in between people as I'm walking through school. I can't stand them slow walkers. But they peep a whole construction truck coming towards them, so they bend the corner and Jamie ends up flying into a pile of snow. His friends then pull up and bro gets up absolutely geeked. That adrenaline rush do be hitting though. But out of nowhere a random chair pulls up smacking him in the face, causing one of his teeth to fall out, and now he's even more geeked cause the Tooth Fairy's about to bring him his money. But Jack's now over here mad as hell cause all the fun they had today was all cause of him. He even brought about the snow day. But as always, he's getting completely ignored as he walks straight through him. Jack then flies away all sad and we fast forward to him later that night walking about. Sandman pulls up to give everyone good dreams and they really expose Cupcake as a fake crash out. She's over here acting like an absolute tweaker just to go back home and play with some unicorns. I can't even look at you the same. But Pitch Black then pulls up in a room turning a unicorn dream into a nightmare. Had me thinking it's the horse from the Lloyd's Bank ad, and he gon' steal her a whole dream, telling the host to tell the others that it's time. He then pulls up on the moon, saying that his nightmares are finally ready. And like LeBron after going down 3-1 to the Warriors, he's ready to make his comeback. We then cut back to Jack. One of the dark horses fly past him and he tries to follow it down into a back street just to be greeted by the Easter Bunny. And bro over here trying to aura farm. This is not tough. He could have sworn this would have went tough on the gram.
Hey y'all, come look at this.
He's been waiting to make his entrance for a good 30 minutes. Jack and Bunny then start arguing because Jack ruined one of his Easter egg hunts, and out of nowhere, 2 Yetis pull up, stuffing Jack in a bag and hitting a rift back to the North Pole. Jack then wakes up out the bag all confused, looking at the Guardians. Santa tries to introduce all of them, but the Tooth Fairy immediately starts tweaking out, inspecting his teeth, saying that they look just like Bevo's new set. And we also got Sandman over here sleeping on the job like he's beefing.
Buford, you listening?
Jack then asks what he's here for, and Santa reveals to him that he's been selected to become a Guardian, giving him a whole parade like he's won the NBA Finals. But Jack denies it, stopping the parade, and Buddy over here just starts to crash out. He's worked his whole life for this, put blood, sweat and tears into this parade for the last 5 years, just for Jack to stop it within 4 effing seconds. I would crash out too. Jack then says he ain't built to be a Guardian, they're all hard work and deadlines, he just wants to have fun and throw snowballs. But they explain to him that every light he sees on the globe is a different child who believes, and no matter what, they protect these children from you know who. And they also told Jack that it wasn't even them, it was a moon that picked him. And this has Jack over here perplexed, like a man who's fed up with his wife that moon ain't talked to him in 300 years. But this gets Jack even more mad, saying that he doesn't want to be a lame that follows the rules 24/7. Him and Bunny then start arguing, and I swear, Bunny thinks he's the coldest guy of all time. Type of guy to pull up to a battle rap and hit the
Sorry little kids, but I'm a killer clown today. I could say bullets are gonna spray, I'm from Brooklyn, that's alright.
and say it in complete confidence, thinking he's tough. Yo,
Somebody go smoke that dude.
The argument then starts to get heated, so Santa decides to take Jack on a walk to talk to him. And while Jack's looking around, Phil over here recognizes him from all his attempted break-ins and is ready to give him a knuckle sandwich. Just look how his eyes are popping out of his head. He's plotting on how we can get him on the next season of the North Pole's Beyond Scared Straight. Jack and Santa then pull up to his office, and Santa over here does a complete 180. He locks the doors and starts interrogating Jack on what his center is, saying that if the moon chose him, he has to have something special within him. Santa then explains to Jack that he has many layers. The first full of mac and cheese, the second full of McDonald's large meals, and the third full of spaghetti tacos. But at his center, he has his wonder, something that he was born with, which allows him to see the wonder in everything. Kinda like how KSI was born with that forehead, which allows him to think about everything all at once. But as Santa's explaining this to Jack, Bunny pulls up saying there's a problem at the Tooth Palace. They all go downstairs, and Jack's over here saying he's not trying to hop in no sleigh. That's probably the size of a Ford Fiat 500. But the sleigh comes out, and Jack immediately changes his mind as they fly off. They then pull up to the Tooth Palace to see that all of Boogeyman's dark horses are attacking it, stealing all the Tooth Fairies. But Jack flies up and catches one before it can get swallowed like Bevo's food. They then pull up inside the castle. Santa tells Jack to take the helm, jumps up, pulling out his sword and slashes one of the dark horses, revealing that they're also taking the teeth. I know Pitch Black's only reason for taking the teeth is to find some to fix his own, cause his are over here looking like Buddy that said that was legitness.
Yeah.
They then land the V, go and check up on the Tooth Fairy, and Pitch ends up pulling up on them. And bro just immediately starts singling out Santa for no reason, talking about some you're fat, you're ugly, and you stink, monkey. Santa then asks him why he's even doing this, and like the average side character in anime, he says he wants to be seen. Genuinely has to be top 5 lamest reasons to want to be a villain. He also says he misses the Dark Ages when everyone used to fear him. Buddy peaked in high school and now won't stop talking about his glory days. Get a job. They then go into attack, but Pitch pulls out his dark horse, revealing that this is actually Sandman's move. He just copied his whole flow, word for word, bar for bar. The whole palace then starts to crumble down, and the Tooth Fairy starts to weaken, cause kids are waking up without their teeth being taken and 8 grand underneath the bed. And the Boogeyman then explains to Jack that being a guardian ain't as fun as it seems. If enough kids stop believing, they start to weaken and eventually they disappear. But Bunny's had enough of the talking, he's all about the action. He throws 2 boomerangs, Pitch weaves them both, but is incredibly shook, jumping on his horse flying down. The squad jump down chasing him with Bunny throwing 3 smoke bombs at him, but Pitch manages to dodge them and escapes into the shadows. They then land, and the Tooth Fairies over here in absolute distraught, cause they not only took the Tooth Fairies but the teeth as well. She then explains to Jack that the reason he wanted the teeth is cause they hold all the children's memories, and she then said she had everyone's teeth and everyone's memories, even Jack from when he was a human. And this is news to Jack. He didn't even know he had a regular life before becoming becoming Jack Frost, the same way some celebrities be forgetting they were regular people before becoming famous. So Jack's over here excited now, seeing they have to get the teeth back so he can find out who he truly is. But the Tooth Fairy starts to weaken cause kids are starting to stop believing in her, and Santa has a eureka moment, seeing they'll collect the teeth themselves, and Jack decides to tag along cause they'll help him get his memories back afterwards. So they then go around city to city collecting the teeth, having a little race on who can collect the most. They then bring it back to the Tooth Fairy and realize that whole time they ain't even been leaving gifts, they've been just taking the teeth. So the squad then have to go back around every single room leaving gifts for them. And I know damn well Santa ain't just leave 2 candy canes there for someone and give a different kid a whole treat and a room full of presents. I'll be mad as hell. The favoritism goes crazy. I'm waking up expecting to see some pocket money I can save up getting in my Franklin seat bag just to see 2 candy canes I can eat in 30 seconds. From then on out, Santa will become my arch nemesis. They will then pull up in Jamie's room and Santa over here is making hella noise, causing Jamie to wake up, seeing all 4 of them except from Jack. Sandman tries to throw a curveball to knock him out but ends up hitting everything but Jamie, causing the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny and Santa to all be asleep. And this is just a case of wrong timing cause Sandman immediately sees one of the dark horses spying on them outside the window. They then start chasing the dark horses throughout the whole city, with Sandman changing one of them back into a unicorn. And Jack's over here smiling and laughing while chasing it throughout the whole city like this is a game. Guys get put in a more serious situation and can't control themselves. Bro, lock in. But Jack eventually takes out the dark horse, freezing it into the ground, and he's over here thinking everything is sweet until the boogeyman pulls up behind him and he tells him this ain't even his fight, go home. But Sandman pulls up next to him and he immediately takes a step back out of fear. He knows Sandman is not the one to mess about with. Despite his stature, he is really like that. He pulls out 2 whips like this is the 1800s. Weave. Pitch pulls out a scythe trying to slice at Sandman, but he jumps over it, blocks an attack, grabbing Pitch, flinging him into the air, slamming him back down into the ground onto a building and throwing him over into the street. I told you not to mess with Sandman. They then drop down onto the road and start walking Pitch down, but he then pulls out his whole Dark Horse army surrounding them. And bro, you can't create anything else. I would have pulled out some T-Rexes, some lions, and maybe even that new direwolf. Buddy's imagination is set to one setting. Pitch then tells the horses to attack, but the rest of the squad then pulls up in the sleigh, still half asleep. Sandman then flies up with Jack and the squad get to work. He takes out a couple of them, the Tooth Fairy pulls up to help him, and I'm not gonna lie guys, I've got to give props where props is due. The Easter Bunny went crazy right here. The confidence now makes sense. Santa jumps on top of the sleigh, slicing a bunch of the horses. Jack hits the duck, landing on the sleigh, and Bunny tells him to duck again as his boomerang spinning the block. We then call over to Sandman and he's trying to hold his own, surrounded by the darkness. Pitch then pulls up behind him and hits him with an arrow in his back. Jack sees this and tries to fly over, but it's too late. Sandy's already cooked. But he dies in the most gangster way, standing up straight like he's white man. Jack then flies up, so Pitch decides to hit him with a whole wave of darkness. But Jack's over here talking about some I think we ain't done yet. Cause he pops his ult, freezing the whole wave and sending Pitch flying back. The Tooth Fairy then catches Jack, bringing him back to the sleigh, asking him how the hell he even did that. And Jack has no idea, the ult button just popped up on the screen. We then call over to Pitch as he's watching them go through the rift, and he hits the infamous line that was trending all over TikTok.
Finally! Someone who knows how to have a little fun.
So the squad pull up to the North Pole, have a funeral for Sandy, RIP to a goat, and then peep that the lights on the globe are starting to go out cause Pitch tipped the scales. But Bunny says it's alright, it's about to be Easter. All them lights are about to be glowing again like rich white people's houses on Christmas. So they pull up to Easter Island and Bunny can immediately tell something's off. They all gear up ready to fight thinking Pitch is there, but Jamie's little sister pulls up out of nowhere cause she picked up the rift and used it to come to Easter Island back when all of them were sleeping. They then start the production of the Easter eggs, allowing Jamie's little sister to join in, with Jack teaching the squad how to actually bring joy to children cause they forgot how to do it. They ain't been out in the field in centuries. They then finish production, sending all the Easter eggs down tunnels to different countries. Jack then offers to take Jamie's sister home, saying that he'll be faster than guys after getting a I'm home alone text. Jack then drops off at home, and just as he's about to leave, he can hear someone calling his name that he swears he can recognize. He follows the voice into the woods to see a hole with a broken bed covering it, and Baby Teeth is over here trying to get him to come back, but he's ignoring her, saying he's still got time. Jack then jumps down the hole, goes through a tunnel and ends up discovering Pitch's lair where he's holding all the tooth fairies. He flies up to go get them out, but peeps the tooth cases underneath him, and without a lick of hesitance leaves the tooth fairies and goes to find his own teeth. He couldn't care any less about them, but as he's looking for his teeth, Pitch pulls up. Jack tries to attack him, but like us black guys going to the cinema, Pitch is hiding in the shadows, and he just starts to put Jack in one of them Mysterio genjutsus, telling him all his deepest and darkest secrets, saying that he don't belong with the Guardians, he makes a mess wherever he goes. He then gives him his teeth and says that Jack's making a mess right now, undoing the genjutsu, revealing that Jack's been in the tunnels this whole time, destroying the Easter eggs.
Oh no.
He knows he's cooked. You get the same feeling after accidentally baking your mom's favorite item while playing. You even start planning to run away because you know that ass being is about to be generational. We then call over to Bunny as he's watching the Easter egg hunts. And cause there's no eggs, all the kids are over here acting like they just lost the NBA championship. Oh, they're just chocolate eggs. Bunny then tries to jump out to surprise them, but it's too late. They already stopped believing him, bro, as they can't even see him and walk directly through him. Jack then pulls up and Santa's over here asking where the hell he was at, telling him that the dark horses attacked, destroying every single egg. None of them made it through. The Tooth Fairy then peeps Jack's case in his hand and realizes that the reason he wasn't there is because he was looking for his case. And before he can even explain himself, the Guardians immediately turn their backs on him, saying he needs to leave. Jack then flies away to the Antarctic, goes to throw away his teeth because he feels guilty, but stops himself because he knows damn well he wants to see their memories. Pitch Black then pulls up behind him and Jack can't waste no time going in for the attack. Pitch blocks the first one, Jack jumps over him going into attack again. Pitch blocks it again, shooting a blast at Jack. He rolls the first one and leaps into the air to dodge the second, and then comes in with the hammer of doom, but Pitch just about manages to block it, creating a smoke screen. Pitch then starts trying to hit Jack with that Talk No Jutsu to get him to join his side, saying that he doesn't have to be jobless alone, they can be jobless together, and says they can make the whole world Pitch Black and Jack Frost. And for a second it seems to work, but Jack tells him he doesn't want to rule the world in fear and tells Pitch to leave him alone, but that's not the answer that Pitch wanted to hear, so he pulls out Baby Tooth, saying that the only way Jack's gonna get her back is if he hands over his staff. So he hands it over, and bro is not a man of his word, saying that he won't give back Baby Tooth. So Baby Tooth pecks him, causing him to throw her away, which I have no idea why she didn't do that, bro. Before he gave over his staff, she's over here saying like she needed help. Gang, you could have been out. Pitch then breaks his staff and hits Jack with a blast, sending him flying into a divot. And he then makes top 5 dumbest villain decisions, dropping the staff down to Jack. There is no reason to do this, could have just taken it with you to guarantee your win. Jack then wakes up, grabs Baby Tooth cause she's cold, but he can't even do anything to make her warmer. All he can do is make her colder. So she jumps into his pocket and ends up pushing out his teeth capsule, telling him to look inside. So Jack opens it up and starts to see all his memories, so that he's exactly the same as he is right now. But one day as him and his sister go ice skating, the ice starts to break, causing her to almost fall in. So Jack decides to play a little game of hopscotch to save her. He hits a 3-step grabbing his staff, jumps towards her, pulling her out the way, but ends up falling in the water himself. And this is the day he died and became Jack Frost. Jack then comes out the memories all geeked, acting like he's my homeboy that's in a relationship after hearing the word 2 man. Even Baby Tooth is over here telling him to lock in. He then realizes that that's the reason why the moon chose him, ends up fixing his staff and flies over back to Pitch's lair. Jack opens the cage to let them out, but it turns out for some reason none of them can fly. How's that even make sense? That's like having LeBron's meat in front of you and not being able to stroke it. It doesn't correlate. I've been around way too many LeBron glazers recently. It's starting to rub off. Jack then flies over to the globe and peeps that all of them are starting to go out except from one, Jamie. And we call over to Jamie and he's speaking to a teddy bear trying to get any sign from the Easter Bunny, otherwise he's done. Jack then overhears this and decides to give him the sign himself and creates a whole ice bunny for Jamie to play with. It then starts to snow in his room and Jamie ends up remembering his mom talking about Jack Frost, which allows him to see him. Had that boy Jack completely geeked, he ain't never been seen in his whole life. Guys get the same feeling after a microsecond of eye contact with their crush. Go home, get on the phone and start telling the boys,
She want me, she want me.
The rest of the squad then pull up and each and every one of them is absolutely cooked because everyone stopped believing. Santa's done turned into a pimp, the Tooth Fairy can barely walk, and the Easter Bunnies reverted back to an actual bunny. They all then apologize and Pitch Black then pulls up on them again. Jack tells him to run and keep Jamie safe and flies up to fight Pitch. And I've got to say, this shot right here goes insanely tough. The all black fit with the dark background, I just know his gram goes crazy. Jack then pulls up trying to pop his ult, but it don't work. Like Maharaga, the boogeyman has already adapted, blocking the attack and hitting Jack with a blast, sending him flying back down like he's Kermit the Frog. Jack then falls on the trash bins next to the squad. Pitch starts to surround them and Jamie over here is absolutely shook, and I won't even blame him, he's at 10 years old. At 10, I was scared of going upstairs by myself at night time. Black boy Max's body odor kept haunting me, but Jack tells Jamie everything's gonna be okay and remembers back to his past and they're gonna play a little game. And at this moment he realizes that that's his center, he just likes to play too much. So while Pitch is having his monologue, Jack decides to hit him with a snow snowball, causing everyone to laugh at him, and he then decides to go grab Jamie's friends to have some fun. They then blast out of there and slide down the street on some Frozone timing, grabbing Jamie's friends one by one. And I just want to know where all their parents are at. I don't know about you guys, but my mom can sense every change in every molecule in the house, so if I try to sneak out, it's 100% guaranteed she's gonna know. They eventually collect all their friends but have to stop in their tracks cause the boogeyman done pulled up with a sea of shadows from every single side, and Jamie and the rest of the kids are over here talking about how they're gonna protect the guardians. Gang, sit your ass back down. The boogeyman then goes into attack. Jamie puts out his hand to block, and oh yeah, you guys already know who that is. I won't even have to say his name. And this immediately puts a battery in each of the guardians' back. The tooth fairy starts flying again, Santa gets strong, and the Easter bunny grows. They all then spawn in their army and the squabbles commence. Jack pulls up behind Pitch, shooting a blaster stringing some of the horses. They then jump over to a different roof. Pitch tries to shoot an arrow at Jack, the tooth fairy blocks it. Bunny then pulls up throwing a boomerang, and Pitch is over here trying to run away, but Santa pulls up destroying the horse. They then take the battle to the ground. Block, switch out, weave, throw the boomerang, switch out again with Jack kicking him back, and they over here thinking he's cornered off, but he disappears into the darkness, causing them to turn around, pulls up behind Jack trying to end this man's whole career, but gets grabbed by a random lasso and gets pulled back. And the GOAT, Sandman, makes his appearance again. Had that boy Pitch looking like Mojito. He hits him with a winded up uppercut and pulls him back down to the floor, completely knocking him out. The squad then celebrate with Sandman giving everyone their good dreams again and all the kids believing again. And Pitch gon' wake up to see everyone having a snowball fight right in front of his eyes. He can't believe the disrespect. He charges at Jamie, but he just ends up running straight through him. He no longer believes, so he just decides to run into the woods. Had me thinking this was that one scene from JJK, but the squad pulls up on him. The Tooth Fairy gives him a right, knocking one of his teeth out, and they say no matter what, regardless if he comes back, they're gonna be here for the kids. Pitch then tries to flex his dark horses, saying they can smell fear, but none of the squad are fearful, so they must be smelling his own. They end up attacking him and bringing him back down into his tunnel. The squad then celebrate with Jack officially being made a guardian, and this is now basically the end of the movie. You know, I had to bring back this childhood banger. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this vid. All glory to God, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.